Hey, you're watching Chelsea and Tony live, and this episode is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for creating a professional website or online portfolio. You can try it out for free, no credit cards needed, for 14 days, and if you decide that you like it, go to squarespace.com/Tony and use the coupon code PHOTOLIVE.
Or portfolio.
Or portfolio.
Which it should be.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry, we're starting late today. It's a live show, and we had a freight truck show up like 10 minutes before the show, and we had to move a pallet through the snow onto the truck.
We called
Lightroom books going out to Amazon.
Canceled that shipment too, and they just showed up, so that was crazy.
Today we're doing two things. We're reviewing pet pictures and we're reviewing portfolios. So if you want us to review your portfolio, go to sdp.io/link. It only works during the live show.
Yeah.
Don't bother afterwards. And we have a new feature. If you write a tweet and use the hashtag TCLive, we'll be able to see it. Justin will be able to throw it up on the screen. Hopefully. We've never tried it before. No. Tested it, but you know how things go when first time you try it out, right? So hashtag TCLive.
Cool. So today's photo theme is pets. So you can go to sdp.io/submit now and send us your pictures.
That's
Oh, look
Cowboy.
at those. That's our dog Cowboy.
You dressed him in a hat.
Well, I had a rough day. And then next week, we're going to start telling you the photos a week early, what the theme is, that you have time to prepare. So next week, it's going to be levitation. And you might be thinking, Chelsea, I don't know how to take a levitation shot. I've got you covered, because if you go to sdp.io/levitate, I have a tutorial and you can learn there.
There you go.
I hope you guys submit pictures.
Spicy topic.
This is out of, the spicy topic of today is watermarks. In our private group for our readers, they were talking about watermarks. Actually, they talk about watermarks a lot. So some people like them, some people hate them. We want your opinion. When should they be used? When shouldn't they be used? Where to put them, stuff like that. Give us your thoughts.
I pretty much hate them. News stuff.
Okay.
Spoiler alert. A drone crashed into the White House. This is one of those cases where one guy is like ruining it for everybody. I really want to see drones kind of legalized, especially for commercial purposes, specifically so we can start getting aerial shots in our videos legally. And then somebody takes a DJI Phantom and just drives it right into the White House, of all places. A place with very restricted airspace anyway. They were apparently at a friend's house at 3 a.m. drinking and flying a drone, probably with remote goggles or some sort of virtual vision.
That actually sounds super fun.
Yeah.
Did he get in trouble?
He did the right thing. He immediately called somebody. I don't know if he just called Obama and he said, hey, sorry. Anyway, he or she, but let's face it, probably a dude.
Yo, Barry.
Yeah. Called him immediately and said, it was me. It's not a threat or anything. It was just an accident. I'm very sorry. I think he should.
Can I have it back?
Yeah, please.
Just throw it over the fence. I'll behave.
Crazy. New piece of gear here, the Nebula 4000, which is a piece of gear I'm really excited about.
It's as awesome as it sounds, by the way.
Yeah, it's a 3-axis handheld gimbal. So usually these gimbal systems are really very large and not at all discreet. And we do most of our filming in public, in discreet places. I'm going to turn, it's very, very loud.
That's still not discreet.
As long as you leave it on. So what I can do is I can move this up and down, and you can kind of see, I can tilt this around, and you know, it flops over a lot.
Wow, that was cool.
Apparently you need to do a lot of tweaking on it. Dave Dugdale has some really good videos on this, and I like
What's his name?
Dave Dugdale.
Okay. Yeah, it's cool.
So that's kind of been our experience.
Can I try it?
Yeah.
I tried it before.
Works for moments and then flops over.
This is amazing. This has pigeon head technology. You know how the pigeon, like no matter what you do, the pigeon?
Yeah, we're familiar with pigeons.
That's technology.
They're actually fairly cheap. I think they only cost like $600, which for a stabilizer is ridiculously cheap because you're usually spending like $3 to $5K. But maybe it's ridiculously cheap because every 5 seconds it flops over.
I don't know. I like that feature. It's exciting.
Apparently you just have to do a lot of tweaking with it, and we haven't gone through that.
No.
So don't judge. We'll review it. This is not the review. Justin has a clip that I just really wanted to show off from the Slow-Mo guys, and this is a link to their channel. So if you play that clip, Justin, what we'll see is in very, very slow motion, the shutter on a camera moving. And they do 10,000 frames a second. And see if, can we play it, Justin?
I'm trying.
Sorry, Justin's trying to play it and it's not working great.
Okay, I know what's going on. One moment.
Okay, Justin's working on it.
I'm still stressed out from that UPS truck.
The challenge with a DSLR shutter is it cannot stay open for simply 1/8,000th of a second. It takes too long for the shutter to open and close to have that sort of fast shutter speed. So they open just a slit at a time. But this is kind of a hard thing to explain to somebody, and I've always just wanted to show somebody. But you need a very, very fast camera to show a shutter, something that happens over 1/8,000th of a second. And it is important to understand because you get strange, here we go, you get very strange effects on a flash when a flash fires while the shutter is open for just that sliver. So now we're seeing 4 different shutter speeds, but the top one is 1/8,000th of a second. So as that shutter opens up, what you'll see is a very small slit. Even at this speed, it's pretty slow. But as the slower shutter speeds, they were all slit, but the slit was bigger.
That explains why the flash sync makes that weird bar in your photos.
Yes,
if it's messed up.
That's why I wanted to show it, because I feel like once you see it, you immediately understand flash sync problems. It's just so hard to kind of explain it in writing. So go to their website and check out the full video, sdp.io/slowmo guys. I really, really want a 10,000 frames a second camera. They're so cool.
Yeah. They're cool.
Let's take a look at a couple of portfolios. The first up, we wanted to check out Erky Alvenmod's photo. It's a good friend of ours.
That guy?
And we've looked at his portfolio a couple times in the past, but he's updated a few times, and specifically he just wanted us to see whether he had too many photos, because he's concerned. Erky, passionate guy, gets too attached perhaps to individual photos, and I know he struggles with thinning out his portfolio, so we'll look at it in that context. Erky is Swedish for some reason we don't understand. And
I never understood it.
So if the grammar is bad, it's his fault, or it's Google Translate's fault.
Translate it if you can. I don't know if that's doable or not. But.
Oh yeah, Chrome is translating it automatically. I just mention it because bad grammar is not his fault. His English is flawless.
Better than mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's, It looks good.
Yeah, so the wedding page isn't really even a portfolio page. Oh, I see. He's got kind of a scrolling portfolio up here. My image preview is doing some crazy things with it, but this looks, I actually love this layout. It's better than the typical kind of just wedding portfolio because it's got the pricing and everything all grouped together. I guess it's just, I'm trying to control it, and I think it's just on a timer.
Oh.
So it would be nice if it could actually scroll through.
Yeah.
That might be a big request. Let's check out his family pictures. I guess because I can't easily see how many pictures there are, it's tough for me to say if there are too many, but I think the way it's laid out...
I don't think there are too many there. We've gone through them. It's already gone through once, and it didn't seem like too many to me.
So his family photos. I don't know if it's translating something. It's kind of spinning now.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Well, he's got dog photos. That's totally on topic for today because we're looking at some pet pictures.
Yeah. Erky's an overachiever.
Yeah. I don't know if it's our internet connection or your website, but it's responding a little slow. Okay. Well, perhaps we'll take a look at that later.
I really like the layout of the site.
Yeah, I love his layout.
And I like the little slideshow. I wish that you could control it. That was my only complaint. But otherwise, it looks great. You have really good pictures, Erky. It looks so clean. It looks modern, which kind of matches your style of photography. So I really love it.
Yeah, and I don't see any way that, with the way you've laid it out, that there could be too many pictures, as long as there were no bad pictures in there.
I wish he'd design sdpcommunity.com for us, because that thing looks like it's like from 1992.
That it does. So we'll come back in a little, well, tell you what, let's see what other portfolios might have been submitted in the last few minutes. Kyle Kephart, compelling imaging.
Compelling. I feel so far away today. Why'd you guys do this to me? I'm like pushed over here.
I don't know who you think is in charge of your chair, Chelsea.
The chair manager.
Okay, so his portfolio starts out with some landscape photos. This particular photo, I see a common HDR problem with it just being too low contrast. I would just bring those whites up. I like snow to be almost perfectly white. Not quite, but almost. This one again.
I love that picture.
Oh, really? I feel like it's too gray. Don't you want all this to be a little
It could
more
pop
bright?
a little bit.
Yeah.
But I still love the composition, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, I like that too. That's very pretty. Beautiful, gorgeous colors. I love the leading line of the road, nicely done. Maybe a bit much on the sky, especially there's like a dark line kind of happening there. And a little noise reduction on the sky would be good. You get a lot of noise in solid colors, especially blues and reds, because your camera's only processing 1/4 of the information, just the way the Bear filter works. Gorgeous. Might even lead with that. I just love that picture. Beautiful, I love that. Wow, really nice. Great landscape work. Okay, we saw that before. Let's check out the travel.
Oh, we reviewed his picture last time.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, we like that
That's
picture.
what it is.
Very nice. This one didn't pop to me like the other ones did. Like, that is a great composition. That one picture didn't jump out at me. I like that one. Good use of storytelling.
Ooh, I love that one.
I would definitely remove that. That guy down there really distracts me. Let's check out your black and white work real quick.
What is that? Today's weird.
Anytime you try to change something, I love that shot. Don't you think that's fantastic?
I rarely
You might
like
wanna mute
statue
that computer,
pictures,
Justin.
but that's a good one. What do you? Lots of great pictures.
Yeah, I think your black and whites are actually my favorite. Okay, who am I? Let's find out a little bit about Kyle. I like this full page layout, really nice. This is a Squarespace portfolio, by the way. We will review some non-Squarespace portfolios.
Irkey's was not Squarespace.
Yeah.
He hates it.
You say social media links below, but they kind of appear over to the side. And some people like to have an email too. Just something to keep in mind. Let's see what Kyle had to say about Squarespace. Squarespace makes it easy to get my portfolio set up so that I can display my work in my own place. I found it simple to select a nice template and edit it into something visually unique and compelling. Thanks, Squarespace. They're our sponsors, so we like them. You can go to squarespace.com/Tony and get a 14-day free trial. Use the coupon code PORTFOLIO if you want to sign up permanently. Let's check out wildhoodphotography.com, another portfolio. We'll be looking at your individual photos in just a minute. Photography for sale. I don't know, as far as the title goes, that seems like a weird way to lead with it. You might lead with your name instead. Or, I see. So they have multiple different categories here, but it lands on the for sale page, which is strange. I would start with just a portfolio page rather than...
I think the way that it's worded is weird. Like photography for sale sounds like it'd be like on the side of the road or something. Maybe there's a way to word it that makes your work sound of a higher caliber.
If nothing else, you could say prints for sale. I feel like that has a little more cachet to it. But I would definitely lead with a portfolio of some kind. So this is kind of a small window for displaying pictures. Don't you think, Chels?
Yeah. Oh, it's a slide. Oh, but you can control the slideshow. Family photos.
Yeah, but it's nice if it can fill the screen, at least as much of it as possible. Sorry.
So my first impression is that you only have pictures from this one photo shoot. So I would get rid of the family photos page until you have a few more shoots under your belt. So you should just do it for free. Do it for your friends and just get some experience and get some pictures so that you can have a few different subjects up there. Otherwise, it seems like you don't have the experience. Pet photography.
I feel like these are all good pictures. One thing that we warn in our portfolio checklist, you can go to sdp.io/portfolio checklist to check it out, is not to have multiple pictures of the same subject in a row.
Yeah.
And what I saw was several pictures of what looks like a black lab. And yeah, it just gets a little redundant.
I would pick the best one.
Yeah, of these, I would definitely just pick the one that you felt was the most powerful and lead with that, and then just mix it in.
Yeah.
So a couple of suggestions. One, we'd like to see a layout that allowed the pictures to be bigger, just to fill the screen a little bit. We would suggest leading with one of the portfolio pages rather than the for sale page. Let people love your stuff and then jump to the for sale page if you want. Let's make sure that they have a good about and contact page. Okay, good. You have a picture of yourself, a little bit about yourself.
Nice.
You have your email address here. I like My
sweet.
Wildhood. I think it's a catchy name.
Yeah, I like the
It's
name
not something
too.
I'm familiar with, but it feels memorable. So I think you could tell people to go to mywildhoodphotography.com and they would probably remember it.
Yeah. Good. So I think just some more variety in the pictures, and but other than that, it looks good.
Yeah, I'll just fire up Lightroom and we can import some new photos real quick.
Oh, some pet pictures.
Yeah.
We always see pet pictures. I knew that everybody would have a picture of their pets. How could you not?
So we got stuck in the blizzard and I spent some time taking pictures of birds in the blizzard.
Yeah.
Just because I love to do that and I could do it from indoors. It's a really fun thing to do just to set up food, because in a blizzard, birds will kind of be deprived of other sources of food. So your feeder will suddenly become extremely popular. You'll see a lot of species that you might not normally see.
Yeah, we saw a lot of different beautiful birds.
Check it out on my Twitter, just at Tony Northrup.
Oh.
And you'll see my recent bird
I
pictures there.
actually have been trying to get more Twitter followers than you, so if you could stop plugging your Twitter and instead plug mine, which is at Chelsea Northrup without the P.
Yeah, it's like Chelsea
I feel like
Northrup
when you're
without the
really
P.
cool, you don't get to actually pick your name for stuff. Somebody else gets there first. So
I don't know what
Chelsea
being
Northrup.
cool has to do with it. Somebody else just
There's
happened
a
to be named
direct
the exact same
correlation,
thing.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so first up, a horse. I'm glad to see something
Wow,
besides
I did
cats and
not
dogs.
see this coming.
I think this is a beautiful shot with the backlighting, don't you think? I know your family has a horse, Chelsea, a couple of horses, and I don't know that we've ever photographed them, have we?
I don't know. They usually look pretty ugly.
Well, what do you think, Chelsea? You know more about them, does this capture the personality of the horse?
I don't know the horse
They're usually
personally,
pretty ugly.
but
Big horse lover, aren't you?
well, ours we don't like. When you ride English, I feel like people are always like braiding their horses and stuff, and ours are more like pets. They just roll around. They love to roll in the mud and stuff. We brush them off. They get anyway.
I was over there the other day. I had a full coat on with like a hat and everything.
They love their coats. They're so cute. Anyway, I think this is, yeah, I think that I love the backlighting. I think that it captures how the person that took the picture feels about their horse.
There are some weird technical flaws. Like these little spots jumped right out at me.
Yeah.
They're really easy to fix with
Yeah.
just the healing tool. So I would just go through and fix those. And I don't know what is causing that, though. I don't know if there's something on your lens or your sensor. I've not seen anything like that
I like
before.
the composition too.
But the composition and the lighting, gorgeous.
Wait, is that the same person? No.
No, just
Wow.
people love horses.
Oh, wow.
This is a very different picture. It's not quite as like
That's
clean.
like what my horses would look like. Just like doing their own.
Well, I love this. They seem to be having fun. It gives them a lot of personality.
Yeah.
I like that shot. I feel like it captures a different side of it.
I'd say, wait, go back. I think it's a little oversaturated.
Oh yeah.
It
those-
looks a little amped up to me.
Yeah, you could probably just drop the greens. I think it's only the greens that I'm seeing, right? Or is everything bothering you?
No, not everything's bothering me. It just looks like they hit the saturation a little hard, and then that can be the first thing you see when you look at the picture. 'Cause my first impression of the picture was like saturation. But then I like the action and I like the story of the shot, so maybe bring that down.
Nicely done.
That's not a pet. Crazy.
Some of these might be,
That's really cute.
studio shots of pets. I think can be really compelling because they kind of personify, they humanize a pet a little bit to bring
Yeah.
them in that environment that we're so familiar with. But I also think they can be really challenging. And this looks like he was a really good dog. One of our dogs, Cowboy, who's in that slide, is a very good dog.
He's a supermodel.
and he will sit there and pose for you. Sandy, the blonde dog that you see in pictures sometimes, is a complete spaz. So
She's a monster.
You try to get her to sit by giving her a treat, but as soon as she knows there's a treat coming, she cannot control how excited she is about the treat. And she just wiggles and jumps all over the place, and so you just can't get her to sit still.
This dog
dog's a
was
perfect
really
model.
good, and you got a really good expression out of the dog. You got eye contact and a little head tilt, and the ears are in a nice position. It looks really friendly and approachable. And I like that you chose a dark background in contrast to the light fur. You did. It looks really good.
I would just love to see a catch light in this eye.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that you can kind of monitor with your modeling light if you have it. Just sometimes you have to move it around. I know it's so much, the dog can move its head like from this to this and ruin your catch light.
But I do like that they use some side lighting because it brings out like the wrinkles and stuff. It's a good picture. I like that.
He is adorable. Look at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, the black and white adds a certain mood to it. I think it looks like it got clipped a little bit with the highlights here. I'd like to just see a little texture in the fur
Sometimes
there.
those like filters, it looks like they can just blow out the highlights really easily.
Yeah, it could just be a filter.
Yeah.
Oh, that might have been a pet. Let me zoom back out. People
I don't think
raise
so.
pigeons. Mike Tyson.
I'm going to say no.
Does he raise pigeons or doves?
Well, Mike Tyson submitted his picture today, ladies and gentlemen. This picture makes me kind of sad. That dog looks like a prisoner.
Oh yeah, people in Texas keep their dogs on chains all the time and don't think anything of it. In Connecticut around here, it feels like you're imprisoning your dog if they're not on the bed with you. This is. I wish.
I don't want my dog on the
I wish I had more metadata for this because that's a very cool lens. Like the depth of field there is
Yeah.
crazy shallow.
Yeah.
Good
I
shot. She
I really
adjusted
like
the
the picture.
saturation a little bit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
Again, I don't know.
Would you want
It's
to catch
oversaturated,
light in his
right?
eyes?
I'd like to find his eyes. They must be in there somewhere, right?
You need to get like clothespins and he needs a facelift.
Yeah, he's cute. You zoomed in tight and kind of filled the frame with the subject, and I like that. It captures a lot of detail and a lot of personality. It's a cool shot.
Lord, I've never been so.
Yeah,
Close.
it's an intense experience. So look at this. Take it with a GH4, which is an amazingly good stills camera. I really like using the GH4.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go, an
We gotta-
action shot. I always think shots are more compelling when there's some action to it.
But I have to say, I love the action, and I love that he's jumping into the open space. You use the rule of space, but the subject is the face, and it's mostly in shadow. So let's pull up the shadows and see if we can rescue it a little.
Oh, good, the detail is there. Yeah, now you might want to be a little more selective about that because we raised the shadows.
I mean, that was
but
rough. That was a very rough edit.
I don't know if it's your processing or let's see if. Yeah, maybe it just is. So, well, you use the selective adjustment brush here and just kind of do that and then raise the shadows.
Sorry, I started playing with the mouse.
So just an easy way to do it. Check our Lightroom book. Find it on Amazon or scp.io/store. Lots of good information there. Nice shot. Hard light with dark coats is really important because a dark coat will just be black. It will disappear. But you can see this coat is actually mostly white, and that's because it's very reflective. He has a good shine to it, but you need hard light to show that. An overcast day would have made him look completely different, much less interesting. If you had to use a flash or something, that would have worked too. Anyway, dark hair, dark fur, you want hard light.
Big
In fact,
tongue.
in general, with pets, you would use hard light, bare sun behind you or bare bulb to your back. Completely opposite of portraiture, where you want the person's face to be in shadow or in soft light. Not a pet. Not a pet.
Ooh.
Intense close-up, but this, that doesn't convey to me what's going on
I think
here.
it's interesting.
I think it's an
maybe-
interesting compositional element. And maybe it's a cat hiding behind something,
I think
which
it's
they
behind
often
its
do.
own body, like this.
Oh, really?
Like it's furry. Maybe it's another cat. But I like it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh my gosh. How did they make it do that? Let me know. Tell me.
Yeah, you just need to take enough pictures of a cat and you'll get one looking like that. So,
You have
what
a
is
pet
this?
shrimp?
Yeah, he's cool, beautiful, and nicely done too. Nice and got the focus on the eye. Great colors on it.
I like a pet that you can serve to your guests.
You can see we're skipping. I don't think he's going to eat that.
He might.
And it's like a tiny little toothpick. That would just be the saddest meal ever. I'm
I
gonna
love this picture.
raise up the exposure a little bit. I want to see more detail in the shadows because I
Yeah.
think there are eyes in there and they're
Get
just
'em.
kind of completely
You
lost.
do it.
Yeah.
So-
They're not in the JPEG, but maybe they were in the raw file and you
Yeah.
can just use the adjustment brush, bring it over the dark areas here and raise up the shadows or the exposure. I do that with almost every animal shot, whether it's a bird or a pet. Just raise the eyes a little bit, especially if it's buried in fur.
I really like the angle that they got down low and put a bone in the foreground.
Yes,
I
you're
just
right.
feel like I'm living the dog's
Good
life.
point.
I
got
feel like
hung
I'm
up on that
another.
exposure.
I feel like I'm another dog laying next to him and looking at him like, is it time to go for a walk yet?
Wow, Chelsea, you really got immersed in that picture.
I did. Someone's got to keep their head in the game, Northrop, and it's me.
Let's jump back into our slide deck. If I can Alt-Tab. Okay. I'm sorry that I'm having such a difficult time Alt-Tabbing today. Our spicy topic today is watermarks. Chelsea, do you have any comments or what are people saying about watermarks? Do they love them? Do they hate
Yeah,
'em?
she ain't a watermark.
Yeah, I totally agree. She ain't a watermark.
Somebody said nobody puts Chelsea in a corner, and then the person's response was, yeah, she ain't a watermark. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, just going to check through a little bit more to make sure that's not our only watermark discussion.
Okay, well, in the meantime, we also set up a new system that we can accept incoming video comments from you people.
Yeah.
So go to sdp.io/sup,
Sup?
like sup,
What does that stand for?
sup, like sup.
Tony, stop being so cool.
And you can just record it with your phone, but go ahead and like put your phone horizontal and it'll look a little bit better on video. And then upload it here and we'll answer it live on the show. What do you got for me,
I just
Chelsea?
went through a whole range of emotions because someone said, Chelsea reminds me of Cersei from Game of Thrones, which she holds her wine glass like that. And for 1 second, I thought they meant Daenerys. And I was like, Mother of Dragons! And then I realized that they meant that bitchy mom that's always trying to kill everybody. And I was like, I
Aww.
don't want to be the bitch mom. But I am, and I'll embrace it.
Well, that's okay, because I got compared to like everybody's almost least favorite Game of Thrones character. Who was it? The guy who owns
Littlefinger?
the whorehouse. Yeah, Littlefinger. Which isn't what you're going for, really.
I know, but you know what? We make a lovely pair. Cersei and Littlefinger. Okay,
Let's hear a question from a reader.
from you.
Hey guys, good evening.
This is
I-
getting pretty good audio.
You can just play it. I know what he's saying.
Okay.
Hey guys, good evening. Hope all is well.
Can they hear it?
This is just for you.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
Chelsea, Tony. Please mind the background. Just planning on doing my studio up, so forgiveness for that. I just wanted a quick question. I'm thinking of purchasing the Westcott Ice Light, and I'm just wondering if either one of you have had the pleasure of working with this particular tool, and if so, what do you think of it? All right, enjoy the evening, guys. Speak soon. Bye.
So the answer is no. we don't. But I did hit them up for a loaner. So if you want to check it out, it's right here. It's this cool light. It's like a battery-powered light that you can just hold out, and it has this kind of really interesting light quality. And because it's so battery-powered, it's easy to move around, and you can hold it close to your subject. And
You could use it to defend yourself against a home invader.
so no, but we will try. Please stay tuned. And here's another video question from a viewer.
This is unfair.
Hey Tony and Chelsea. My question
He's
is,
asking how
how
we
did
met.
you two meet? Love your videos.
If you heard it. Answer that.
This is how you land Tony Northrop. You go on Yahoo Personals, which doesn't exist anymore,
Match.com now.
and you say that you have the body of Philip Seymour Hoffman and that you're probably related, and you don't show a profile picture of yourself. That's how we met.
She had a funny profile, which
I'm a
is
crazy
extremely
person.
rare if you've ever been on dating sites. Like women, man, they do not try on dating sites. They put up a picture of themselves, usually taken like this, and then they're like, I'm just like a really cool chick. If you want to know more, just write me, just hit me up. But like, what do you have to base your relationship on other than their picture? Like Chelsea at least wrote about herself. She did not include a picture.
I wanted
I
someone
really lucked
to
out.
like me for my dysfunctional personality, not my beautiful body.
That's why it's such a beautiful match.
That's how.
Okay, so I know we received some other questions right before the show, but we didn't get a chance to process them, but we'll go through them and get them next week.
I really love Chad and Brittany. They are so cool. Are they talking about us or?
Yeah, I think they're calling us white and preppy.
I'm so Puerto Rican. Maybe preppy. People are all about your clothes, man.
I know, I gotta try to get a fashion sponsorship or something.
I'm gonna make a fashion blog for you.
Yeah, might as well. You'd be in charge of it because you pick all my clothes.
I got that.
Not today. This was my responsibility to pick my clothes today, and this is what you ended up with. The sweater you're wearing in the first scene is awesome, Tony. What store did you get it from? I do not know, but Chelsea might know.
I got it from H&M. It was only like $30. H&M is great.
Wow, this is a channel for low-budget fashion tips.
Yeah.
It's a whole new thing. This is really important. It's Squarespace is sponsoring, I think it's a Super Bowl based advertisement.
Yeah.
And Jeff Bridges has recorded an album that they are releasing for free for download. So you should check it out, Dancing with Jeff.
It's really
Justin,
good.
do we have a clip of it that we can play?
Justin, can you hear?
Okay, so I will try not to talk over it too much because it's really important that you hear it. I don't know what Squarespace is doing with this. It's very strange. I think it's one of these ironic viral marketing campaigns.
I think it's real and I think it's beautiful.
But at the same time, I could just hear Jeff
think
Bridges
it's gonna
hum
be-
all day.
I think it's going to be a hit in the ASMR community.
Acting when I'm
And I love it.
preparing for a scene or whatever. My makeup.
There is literally like an hour of this available for download. They made a real album out of
I
this.
want it.
So this is the work of Squarespace. I also like that Jeff Bridges and we are only one step removed now. We both have the same sponsor.
Yeah, it's like 1 degree of Jeff Bridges over here.
Yeah, we're kind of buds. We have the same sponsor. He pays his bills just like we do. With
Him and I,
Squarespace.
one and the same.
I hope his Super Bowl ad doesn't get more clicks than our weekly show, though. That's going to be
Oh,
really
yeah.
embarrassing.
Yeah, that would be super embarrassing.
We probably don't. I think I probably cut this longer than needed, Justin. So
You
probably-
really... I saw you
switch
just
away.
laughing to yourself over there. Okay. We have some watermark discussion, if anybody's interested.
Okay.
Tom Smith says, watermarks show a distinct lack of confidence. I don't know where you get that, Tom Smith.
I do not know what that means. I feel like if you had confidence, you might think that people were going to love your picture and were going to steal it. I don't know.
Ooh, so you think it might show that you're overly confident.
Yeah, I actually feel like it's a little bit of overconfidence. Everybody's always afraid somebody's going to steal their picture. And even if they do steal your picture, most of the time it doesn't cost you anything. Like all the time I'm like, oh, somebody put my picture on their website. What do I do? It's like, who cares? Just go on with your life. Keep taking pictures. Like, what are you going to do? Like file a lawsuit and get $3 from them? Like that's what a stock image costs. And if they
Okay.
steal your picture, they were not going to buy it.
I'm going to play the devil's advocate here.
Okay.
I think that there's a time and a place for a watermark. A lot of people are doing some marketing and branding with their watermarks. So when people share them, let's say you take pictures of your client and then they share them on their Facebook and there's no watermark, then people don't tend to remember who that is.
Yes, and I actually think this is the only reason I'll accept for putting a watermark on a picture is that you think it's going to go viral and you want to make sure you get credit for it. But I wouldn't do it blanket on every picture, but rather a picture that was going to go viral. Because there was a case recently where somebody took this awesome, I think it was a volcano picture,
Yeah.
and somebody else took it and put it on Reddit. And then it made the front page of Reddit, and then a bunch of other news agencies kind of covered this picture. The photographer got no credit for it.
Yeah.
And millions of people saw his picture, and nobody even bothered to visit his website because nobody even tracked it down. So if he'd had a watermark, maybe he could have gotten some of those visits, some tiny portion, like 1 out of 1,000 of those views might have turned into a click to his website. And then some portion of those might have followed him long term or hired him. Maybe he could have gotten something at least.
Well, maybe someone even would have looked him up and then people would have gone on his portfolio. I can definitely see why people would want a watermark. But Benjamin Hoda says small watermarks are okay. Huge ones in the middle of a photo suck. Use the S word. I tend to agree. I don't like when there's a huge watermark. Like, sometimes I think there's something wrong with the picture when it's small. I'm like, ew, what is that smudge? And it's a watermark. And then I'm not really appreciating the picture. I'm just despising the watermark. So, like, you gotta be careful. There's a fine line between protecting your picture and ruining it.
Yeah, and I think if you're a professional photographer and you're hoping to sell prints and you want to give people digital images, I kind of hate that model of selling the prints. I'd rather have somebody just pay me for the time. But otherwise, people will print out even the smallest of JPEGs. They will put them on their Facebook and then they will be happy. So you pretty much have to put awful watermarks in that.
I think that's what Erky says. Watermarks are unnecessary. They don't protect your photo and they make them ugly. Only reason to use a mark on your photo is with a logo for marketing purposes. And Greg Noel agreed with him. And I agree with them that it's good for marketing, but you could always just edit them out of a picture if someone really wanted to. It's not going to protect you against anything. It's not really worth trying to protect your images, I don't think.
All right, we all agree with me.
What?
Watermarks only used for occasional marketing.
Let's back it up. You started by saying you were against watermarks, and then you got more reasonable. Nobody's agreeing with you. Okay, let's go.
Jen Eric Edvartson definitely agrees with
Jan.
Yeah.
me. You don't know that.
Yes,
What
I
about,
do. We're friends. He was an owl, and now he's something. He's something else.
I always think of Jan Michael Vincent, my childhood hero, the only man alive who could fly Airwolf.
Well, this isn't that person. He's my Facebook friend. He sends me pictures of funny things.
I love all of these pictures. This is like a style that I love.
I know.
It's unusual.
Ooh,
I love this
did
kind
you
of
see the head?
geometric.
Go back. There's like just a person.
No, I did not. This needs to be presented as a large print because it was easy to overlook in the kind of like ADD style of presentation that the internet encourages.
I love this one too. I actually friended him. I don't usually accept friend requests, but I did because I love his pictures so much. Plus, he's really super weird, and I appreciate that.
Like personally or in his photography?
No, like just personally.
Is that okay for you to say about him?
I don't know. I feel like we're bros.
Okay.
Are we bros? We're bros. His pictures are beautiful.
Oh, I remember seeing this picture before. I absolutely love it with the birds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is fantastic work. I love all this. We should come up with some sort of constructive criticism to provide
He
him.
just sees stuff. Like, he just has such a good eye. Look at that picture. It's so beautiful. It's just a corridor.
I think could be really inspirational to people. And I would challenge you to go out and find a subject that is only light. Because this is a subject of light. Even the lines created by the cracks in the tiles are created only because the light is coming from the side and creating shadows in those cracks. If the light were softer, if it were coming from the top, those cracks would kind of disappear. Light and contrast can be really powerful and easily overlooked subjects, and it will teach you to see things in an entirely new way when you do this. I also think an iPhone or a smartphone is really underrated as far as a camera goes. It's something you have with you all the time. It's also a bit of a challenge because of the fixed focal length, and you cannot rely on like, technical detail or a blurred background.
Can I say, though, since I've been carrying around the Sony cameras with like a small lens, I love it because I can carry them around all day. I'll bring them out to dinner, I'll bring them wherever, and I never feel it on my hip.
Yeah.
I just leave it over my shoulder and just never think about it. So I'd probably rather bring that than a cell phone.
Yeah, it is nice to get yourself a really lightweight camera. We still don't have it all the time, and I just always
Look
have my
at him.
smartphone.
How could we not be bros? Look at him.
Yeah, he looks awesome. Look at his popped collar. I'm just gonna call him Chad.
You know what? He looks like some kind of agent from like the 70s.
Yeah, He looks like he should be in that Sabotage Beastie Boys
Yeah,
video.
I feel like he'd make me smoke cigarettes until I got sick.
Jan, Fox in a Box, says, I had my portfolio for review about 10 months ago when I took all of Tony and Chelsea's criticism to heart and redesigned my website with less photos and categories. I also designed my own logo in Photoshop. Squarespace 7, the newest version of Squarespace, even surpasses the previous version. I've fallen completely in love with my current template. They rocks. I'm talking about Squarespace.
Wait,
Yeah, thank you for resubmitting it, and I think it looks
it looks really good.
amazing. I wanted to just provide a link for people who wanted to get their own Squarespace website. Go to squarespace.com/Tony and use the coupon code portfolio after your free 14 days, and that'll give you 10% off. They start under $10 a month. We love Squarespace. We use them for our own portfolios, and I think as we look at, a lot of the non-Squarespace portfolios, you kind of know it right away because there's weird things about the user interface, and I bet if you looked at them on a phone or a tablet, they wouldn't look as good or they'd be difficult to use. Squarespace does all that kind of heavy lifting of testing it on every single smartphone out there, making sure that everything works smoothly. They provide 24-hour technical support that will jump in and fix any problems that you have quite quickly. I've used them. They work great. You do not have to be technical, and there's no risk because you don't even have to give them a credit card. So check them out. We love them. They are our sponsors, but they're an easy sponsor to have because we absolutely love them. And in fact, they also sponsor Jeff Bridges, giving you a free album that will help lull you to sleep at night.
He's a good guy.
I also want to say this picture
It's beautiful.
It's cheesy. It's super easy to do. Put a single strobe or flash behind the subject, and what you'll get is rim lighting like that. The light will kind of creep around the edges, highlight the hair. And then they just had him tilt his head in a couple of different ways.
I want to do this for me. I want to replicate it.
Yeah, it's a fun exercise to do. So you take a couple of pictures like this. You don't even necessarily need a black background as long as it's kind of a dark environment where the flash or strobe is overpowering your ambient light.
Yeah.
And then expose your camera properly. And then in Photoshop, you'll add each of the pictures as layers and adjust them so that you're nested inside your own head. And set the blending mode to lighten. Is that the right mode? You're the Photoshop expert.
I don't think that's right.
Okay. It might be lighten. Anyway, NASA will also provide you public domain pictures of stars that you could use to blend into the background there.
Stop. You're giving away our secrets.
What other comments did you have, Chelsea?
We have a lot of really great comments today.
Oh, good. You people are bringing it finally.
They're really random. It's so hard to find where to begin. So I'll start with something technical since we've been a bit goofy. Let's see here. Sorry to make you guys wait. Someone wants us to do video on color calibration. Any chance you'd post a segment on that sometime? That's DJ Kelly.
Color calibration. I do get a lot of questions about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we should just do it.
I think we should do it because it drives me crazy. Like, my monitors aren't color calibrated and then they just look different. People say that there's something wrong with the color and I don't know what everybody else sees, so it's kind of frustrating. Chels, ask Tony if he's ever tried DxO Optics Pro.
No.
Good guy.
Easy.
That was a good one. The Nut wants to know, is there any prime lens for Nikon I can use for wildlife, something like the Canon 400mm prime?
Oh, right. Unfortunately, no. And in fact, that's a big reason that I end up recommending Canon to people. They're also kind of short on newer APS-C bodies with like a big buffer. So they don't really have a 70 equivalent and they don't have a 400 f5.6 equivalent. The closest they have is the 300 f4 equivalent. And they actually just announced a new version which costs about $2,000. The older version is cheaper, especially if you get it used. So you can get that 300 f4 and put a 1.4x teleconverter on it. And that's about the best you're gonna do in the like sub 4K market or so. After that, you get into, at some point you can graduate to like the 400mm f2.8 or the 500mm f4, 600mm f4, but those get very expensive. Yeah, they need a 400mm f5.6.
We should write them.
Is that it for the comments, Chelsea?
Iris says, Tony and Chelsea, y'all should come to Holland. Don't worry, I'll avoid eye contact and offer donuts.
Holland?
Yeah.
Was that your Dutch accent?
No. That was my accent. Me, Chelsea.
Well, we were just in Holland.
Yeah, we should go again. I really liked Amsterdam.
I liked Amsterdam
I
a
loved
lot.
it. So next time we come to Amsterdam, we'll give you a call.
Okay.
What?
Here's a proper pet portrait, and
What was it? What?
it looks perfectly posed and processed.
Oh my gosh. You're freaking me out.
Make it stop. I like this guy's beard. I wonder
It's
if
so nice and
it goes
white.
down and connects into the dog's tails. Do you think they might actually be one? Like maybe he grew the dog from his beard?
I hate
It's a
that
possibility.
idea. It's not, and I wish you never suggested it.
Bath time gets confusing, but otherwise,
Okay.
it's a nice way. No leash.
Okay.
The shot is perfect. The lighting is really nice.
The lighting's really
Great
nice.
contrast. You nailed it.
The poses are nice. The expressions are nice.
Oh my God, Justin.
Justin's freaking out. He's imagining bath time. Angry cat.
Yeah, most cats are angry.
It's a little bit blown out.
Yeah, I don't mind that though. I like the
You
exposure
wouldn't.
of it. Okay, do you have any? I guess no. He's cute. I love pits. They're really cute.
Yeah.
I kind of want to
Pibble.
raise the blacks a little bit,
Don't we all?
or lower the blacks, I should say.
Don't. Okay. Interesting pet.
Right. We're looking at Pat.
Oh, that's pretty cute.
Yeah, we don't have eye contact though, and in
Eye
fact his
contact.
eyes are a little bit hidden, so I'd rather see some eye contact in there.
It makes me feel like they don't know the dog since there's no eye contact.
Yeah, like
some
it's a
reason.
candid dog.
Yeah, candid dog. This one too, I'd like some eye contact.
I think what's happening here is, I think this might actually be a posed photo, but what happens is somebody is off camera trying to get the dog to look at the camera.
Yeah.
And you really have to get the dog to look at the camera.
Sometimes I'll put the treat over the top of the camera, and if your dog's good enough to stay, then they'll just look up at the treat.
Yeah, sometimes a squeaky toy will get them to look up just long enough. I also like to take the collars off because like that green collar can get to be a little distracting. That could probably be cloned out in post, but you can't really get eye contact in post. Some of this might be left over from last week.
that was a
Okay,
good one.
there's a pet. I like this shot a lot.
That's
It's
a
really
great
dramatic.
picture.
I love the way you included the person, but didn't kind of make it the entire focal point. Beautiful blacks, just gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Yeah, really nicely done. We want five stars
Oh,
5 stars.
oh my goodness, you
Pick.
give it stars?
and a pick.
Oh. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
That's
He's
not
adorable.
a pet, but it's adorable. Adorable.
Okay, some of these maybe these are just older, and there's some dog pictures in here.
Oh,
Okay,
someone has a pet
a
elephant?
pet
I
elephant.
don't think so, guys. Come on. Oh, that's a great picture.
That is perfect. Great background
See, this
blur.
one doesn't have eye contact, but it works for some reason because I feel like he's really interested in something off camera.
Yeah, and the composition feels very deliberate too,
Mm-hmm.
so it still feels like a proper portrait.
It feels candid rather than disconnected.
You might take the adjustment brush and bring the highlights down a little bit here, but it's a minor point.
You might. That's
Okay, that is a pet, and that is fantastic. I love formal portraits. I did a whole thing at some point about like Olin Mill style portraits with birds, and this reminds me of that because it's got the painted gray background. That really cracks me up.
that really cracks you up.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful. I don't know what you're doing.
You ever like see a bird and you just wish you could party with it? This is a rave bird.
Okay. I don't know if that's what the person was expecting you to do, but all right, let's just see the before and after. How many of you think Chelsea improved the picture, making it rave bird?
I think rave bird works. Justin, would you party with that bird?
I have, and I would.
Yep. I knew he would.
They have a history. That could be a domestic goose.
That's a black swan.
Oh, swan. Yeah. Okay. He's adorable. I like that.
What happened to your speaking? I'm adorable.
Speaking of party animals,
What?
this guy looks like he might be at a club with the background lights.
I think he's near a Christmas tree. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh. Okay, or club. You don't know.
Okay, you're right.
I
I like this picture.
Yeah, I like it too. They went deliberate with the lighting. I can see they have an umbrella here.
But I have to
It's like
say
a
his
shoot-through
expression is very like, why are you doing this to me?
Yeah, I don't know what his personality is. One of the challenges is kind of capturing the pet's actual personality. So
Yeah.
if he is kind of shy and timid, this might capture him perfectly. If he's generally a happy dog, then you might have missed the mark. But I don't know the dog. I would love to hang out with him sometime, but I don't. Maybe it's the context of the other pictures, but this reminds me of like the stray cats that are always in Europe.
Yeah.
You don't really get stray cats in America so much, but
I think you do.
stray cats, yeah, I guess you do.
Think
What am
of
I
just
talking
the
about?
Keys.
Not around here, but you're right. In the Keys, and actually, when I lived in Boston, there were a ton of just stray cats.
We have them here too. They're our neighbors' cats that come into our backyard and taunt our dogs.
Yeah. So you did this in very low light. I can tell because you shot with a big aperture at f2.2 and at 1/20th of a second, which is very slow. So I can't ask you to do anything more. But you could go in and selectively reduce the noise in the background with some masking. Chapter 8 of Stunning Digital Photography, the Wildlife chapter, has some information on how to do that. Otherwise, I think it's a great portrait. You capture the pet really well. I love the blurred background.
I love that cat. He looks like a fighter.
This, taken with the Sony A7, one of our favorite cameras, at a nice low ISO. What do you think about a sleeping pet, a picture with no eye contact? Is it passable, or do we just need eyes? You know, we talked about capturing the personality of a cat.
It looks like a cat funeral.
And cats are just always sleeping, so you might as well, because that is kind of their personality. I did raise the shadows a little bit to show a little more of the
Their
texture.
personality.
Yeah.
Dead.
Well, see, this cat's awake, but looks like he's about to go to sleep. One of the two states of a cat.
Make me yawn.
The backlighting here really highlights the whiskers. Beautiful
like
shot, great timing, great lighting.
He looks like he's in front of a screen door.
Yeah. Some people do have foxes as pets now.
Oh, I'm jealous
There's a big
of them.
effort, especially in Russia, to breed a domesticated fox, and it does seem like they've managed to breed in some of those traits that make dogs good pets, like the ability to follow hand signals, and I don't know if they're working on digesting bread. I'm into
What?
dogs and genetics and what makes them uniquely good pets. They're working on trying to breed foxes that have many of those
You
same
said
traits.
something about digesting bread.
Yeah, dogs can digest grains, and they're like the only animal that can do that besides humans, and it's one of these unique traits that allow them to live side by side with us.
Just grain
Anyway,
lovers.
here's a fox. It's very cute. It's a little bit underexposed. I just wanted to point out that this might be a pet because there are people breeding foxes for pets. The white balance is a little bit off here. It's
Is he
easy
supposed
to
to
fix.
be up there? He looks nervous.
He's probably got white paws, so I'm going to use the auto white balance tool and just pull it off of his paw. And
Wait, let me see if this works better. Nope.
anyway, something to look at because, yeah, you get a little bit of a kind of incandescent tint. I don't know what else to say. Tilt shift picture.
Oh.
Oh, this picture is just adorable. But you know, actually,
That little shit. I bet
he
he's
is
trying to eat a bird.
murderer. Exactly, because he's hanging out right next to that squirrel feeder, and he's just waiting because cats are just little murderous bastards, aren't they?
Yeah. He's going to just put guts on your doorstep.
Yep, he looks cute, but he is gonna
He's
kill
really
other cute stuff.
He's the cutest murderer.
Cute aside, just cute on cute crimes.
Cute on cute crimes. When does it stop?
Okay, Cat yawning.
I think he's like yelling.
Oh yeah, I imagine. Meow.
What was that?
Just my impression of a cat that I had and hated.
We say really mean things about animals. People are never going to believe that we're animal lovers.
Yeah, I absolutely adore animals. That's wonderful.
That's a wonderful picture.
Yeah, I love everything about this picture. The lighting is fantastic, the blurred background. But most of all, the subject here. It appears to be some sort of fox/bat hybrid slash skydiver, perhaps. He's awesome. Wow, what could possibly be said?
He looks like he'd have his own cologne.
Did we have anything else in our slide deck? Does that wrap it up? Yeah, I guess that's about it. So what other comments do you have, Chelsea? I'll look at a few more pictures.
Yeah, Jerry Johnson wants to know when you'll be writing Windows 10 Inside Out.
I took a pass on that. They offered it to me, and I am so done writing computer books. I wrote like 31 computer books since I was 22, which pretty much spans the entire history of computers. And yeah, I think that was my last one. But I am working on a Photoshop book, so you can look forward to that instead. Sorry, Windows.
Someone asked, no news on the Gary Fong thing, and I can tell you the final word on that is that we just want to be his friend. And we messaged him and never heard back. So if you talk to old Gare Bear,
yeah,
tell him,
say hi from us.
If you talk to G Fong, tell him Chelsea said, hug me. That's pretty much it. That's the official statement.
We are working on an autofocus retest. So we are going to retest the autofocus system of various mirrorless cameras against various DSLRs so we can kind of get a definitive word on which one focuses better. Because we've heard so many people say the mirrorless cameras focus better than the DSLRs.
Yeah.
So it's worth a shot. We'll be objective about it. And if you want to actually tell us how you want to see those focusing systems tested, go to scp.io/mistake and tell us the testing procedure.
Yeah, tell
because
us the
nobody
procedure.
yet has told us a scientific
They
procedure to
just
test
say
something.
you're wrong.
They just say
and
you're
then
wrong.
we say why, and they say, I hate you. And that's it.
All you have to do is just prove that we're wrong, but that's a good way to do it.
Okay, Fox in a Box, you know my bro friend, Jan?
Yeah.
He says, the heartwarming look Tony gave the camera on the double exposure video made me cry. I've gotten a new soul friend. That's so sweet. Talented and sweet.
A lot of people make fun of the expressions that you get from each of us when we're not talking and we're on camera. It's very weird to be on camera and not talking for an
We
extended
get the
period of
opposite
time.
feedback. People are always like, I thought that guy was a mannequin until he blinked. And with me, they're like, the girl won't stop moving. Because the whole time I'm like, I need to do things.
Yeah, a couple of times on that video you caught me like on my phone because I didn't know they were recording. It's tough to be not the focal point on a video.
Tigar says his pet is a skeleton. I think I've seen that in his pictures.
Yeah.
Like a human skeleton?
And he also said, Erky hates Squarespace. Non-believer, burn the heretic. Which we tried to do. But he's a Viking. He's hard to pin down.
Yeah.
And KCW0 says, have you ever used the Canon 200mm 2.8L? Thoughts?
I've held it. I've played with it, but we haven't used it long term.
No.
But it's an excellent lens. It's less expensive than the 70-200 2.8L, and we almost always use that at 200mm and f2.8 for headshots and stuff. So it's kind of a cheap and light way to get that impact, that full impact of headshots. So yeah, I think it's a great lens. It's very sharp. You keep looking at that. I'm looking at this picture, and the first thing I did was to remove the chromatic aberrations. It seems a little silly, but
I love the lighting and the colors, but I wish that I could see the eyes. And I really like the expression, like the little lifted head is so cute.
you see this
Yeah.
right here, that green? That's chromatic aberration, and it happens because different frequencies of light travel at travel in different ways through glass. So the dog is all whitish, but the green frequencies, especially at the edge, kind of came through and hit the sensor. So Lightroom can fix that. I just
Cool.
selected the Remove Chromatic Aberration tool and adjusted that a little bit. I think the whole picture needs to be brought up a little bit on the exposure, get them looking a little bit brighter. But overall, nice shot. Maybe I'll even try auto white balance, see if we can get the color a little more natural. There you go, just a couple minor edits.
Oh, that
he's
reminds
really
me of
sweet.
Sandy.
Yeah, he
That
reminds
must
me
be
of
a
Sandy too, just a
labradoodle.
shaggy dog. It could be. The color's kind of unusual. Maybe it's like a wolfhound.
It could be a chocolate labradoodle.
It caught his eyelashes rather than the eye, so you might. Sometimes in cases like this, you just have to manually focus or
Those fuzzy dogs are
focus
really...
and then lean in a little bit. It can be tough, especially
they're hard
if
to
you're working with
photograph.
shallow depth of field. You just have to be careful about that.
Oh, that's Kyle. Good job, Kyle.
This dog looks like a tiny version of Sandy. It's kind of uncanny, actually. You nailed the focus. I like the close-up look. You do have a lot of chromatic aberration in here. I'll show you how to do that in the Lightroom book. But I like the kind of off-center composition. I like it. Nicely done.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that is.
Wow.
There's a little bit of fringing, so you might want to go in and just kind of manually brush
I
that
love
in rather
those
than
dramatic
using
skies.
HDR tools.
Let me zoom in here.
Yeah,
Wow.
the edges get a little funky.
Yeah, the edges got funky. But
So selection can be a really challenging thing, but if you spend a little more time on it, I think you can clear it up. Otherwise, I like it a lot. You captured a great mood with it.
and that
A lot of
one
drama.
horse making eye contact makes it.
Yeah, you're right. Without that direct eye contact, it would be a very different photo.
Oh, he
Also, I just
only
kinda
has
wanna-
beans for pets. That was sad.
Beans for
take
pets. Grab that
advantage-
domain now.
Beans for pets. I forget my privilege every day. Ooh. Look at that
Oh.
tongue.
We just looked at that person's portfolio.
Yeah. That's cute.
Yeah, that is pretty adorable. Clearly his best friend is that ball.
That's what I thought. Oh, look at the puppy.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, I can't even handle that cuteness. I want that puppy.
just adorable. This might be the first picture that I've cropped today.
Oh, there was a comment about that.
About me not cropping? Chelsea hit the cursor and
Sorry.
wigged at my commenting, my cropping. What's the comment, Chelsea?
Well, they said something about
That's better.
trying to get you not to crop for the whole show, but then I got distracted because someone said dogs and humans are the only animals to eat grains. What? LOL, y'all smoking crack or something.
Yeah, I don't think I nailed that. They do have some unique attribute to their digestive system, but I cannot remember exactly what it is that they could digest. It's something that we eat, so I'm sorry. Failed you. Failed you all.
I filmed you all. Well, stop trying to act smart all the time. Maybe you won't be disappointing us.
I'm just trying to educate people about how awesome dogs are. Dogs are, they're the greatest human invention, right? And we invented them,
Whoa,
like,
slow,
what,
slow your roll.
40,000 years ago?
Slow your roll.
We made dogs. It was brilliant. Beautiful shot, just a ton of
that
character.
is
I
so
love the direct
beautiful.
eye contact, and the
Yeah.
snow adds so much story to it. Just
looks
there's
like-
nothing to change about that picture.
Yeah,
just
it's
a great
really
job.
nice. Oh,
He is really
so
adorable.
shy.
Yeah, perfect picture.
Tony,
Yeah,
this is fun. I want to see that puppy on the mom's head. That's exactly how I felt as a
I
new
actually
mom.
thought this was you at first when I looked at the thumbnail.
It's not.
No, it's not. Different colored eyes. Oh, you want to see this guy?
Also, it's not me. Even if it did have the same color eyes.
Yeah, but nobody would know if it had the same color eyes.
She also. Yeah, that's cute. That's a ferocious little beast.
Yeah. Now I'm just into cropping.
Oh, you guys got him started. See what y'all did? See what y'all going did?
That's better. Okay, I think we're about ready to wrap it up unless you got something else for us, Chels. Oh, look at this handsome portrait. That's perfect. Just beautiful.
The person with the bird said that they party with the bird all the time, and her vet says we need to stop letting her drink vodka. I really hope that's not true. I mean, I hope the first part's true that you party with the bird, but I hope you don't give the bird vodka. Seems dangerous.
Okay, we spent a lot of time in Lightroom today. If you want to learn
Lightroom.
more about Lightroom, go to scp.io/lr and check out
I know
our
what you're
Lightroom
thinking.
photography book.
Stop plugging your book. Well, I don't care. This is our book. Support us.
Yeah, Squarespace doesn't pay enough for this studio. We love Squarespace, but you got to help us out. If you want to learn more about pet portraits, we actually have a section on pets in Chapter 8 of Stunning Digital Photography, showing you how to get some cool pet pictures. And Chapter 6 will cover studio lighting and stuff in case you're getting real fancy with it.
Yeah.
Next week, we're covering levitation photos, so go to sdp.io/levitate and you can watch a whole video on the topic. It tells you show you how to do it.
Yes.
Photoshop that picture together or do it with the jumping technique. And we will review it next week. So see you next Thursday at 5 o'clock. Tell your friends, subscribe. Bye, guys.
Bye.